Israel has put out a warning against travelling to anywhere. It's warned its citizens and Jewish people to avoid travel. And I think this is an astonishing development in the Israeli Gaza crisis. But it comes at a point when the BBC has defended the most extraordinary question on Thursday's Question Time, where an elderly man asked, there's talk about clearing Hamas out of Gaza, isn't that a little bit like the final solution? And Fiona Bruce responded by saying that, well, that's quite a thing to say. And then the issue was discussed and countered. But really, I think that is the analogy is wrong, as indeed would be the analogy with concentration camps and the state of Gaza as a sort of almighty refugee camp. I think there is an analogy to be made, but it's an analogy to be made with the concentration camp as designed by the British during the Boer War. I think the image of a Nazi concentration camp is the wrong image and the wrong analogy. The final solution was a systematic attempt to eradicate European Jewry from this world, and the analogy made in the Question Time by an audience member shows a poor understanding of history and is an insult to the 6 million Jewish people murdered in the Holocaust. I think it's wrong. I think it's perfectly possible and legitimate to criticize Netanyahu. I do. I think it's perfectly possible to support the people of Palestine, both in the West Bank and in the Gaza Strip. I do. I think it's perfectly possible to bemoan the settlements in the West Bank particularly. I do. I also think it's perfectly legitimate and right to sympathise with and to urge a some sort of solution to the Gazan people's suffering, the civilian suffering across the Gaza Strip. I think we should be calling not only for a humanitarian pause in the war, but also for Israel to open the gates of the Gaza Strip, not just to herd civilians back into Gaza, but also to let civilians out of Gaza as refugees into Israel itself. That is the right thing to do. Israel should lead by example. And Netanyahu's approach to the whole of this conflict is utterly wrong. And he has managed to alienate so many nations, so many people who were immediately supportive of the State of Israel after the October 7th terrorist attack. But the Question Time question was inappropriate, and I'm afraid the warning by the Israeli government is a sign of the times and is extremely regrettable.